Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to say thank you for coming to my presentation. Let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Attallah Al Faruqi and I'm from Economic Development Major at the UPN Veteran Jakarta. Today, I would like to present the result of my research entitled The Effect of the BI Rate and Inflation Rate on the Composite Stock Price Index in Indonesia 1995 until 2019. This research is talk about the effect of the BI rate and inflation fluctuation on IHSG because interest rates and inflation rates greatly influence the decision of investor to invest. The investor decision will be able to influence the IHSG condition in Indonesia. First, I'll explain to you about the theoretical research background. The first theory is from Widyo Atmojo. The condition of the capital market is strongly influenced by the aggregate economic appearance. The relationship between the capital market and the macroeconomy show a positive correlation. The second theory is from Tendelilin. There are several variables that influence stock price fluctuation as reflected in the composite stock price index, that is, inflation, interest rates, and the rupiah exchange rate. This research is used a quantitative and descriptive analysis method. The data collection method in this research uses secondary data sourced from the IDX, BPS, and Bank Indonesia. The variables used in this research are IHSG as a dependent variable, BI rate and inflation as the independent variable. And this research used multiple linear regression analysis and classical assumption test result. Furthermore, on this chart, we can see all of the variables generally fluctuate every year. If we look at the IHSG, it can be seen that it was the lowest point in 1997, 1998, and 2001, and the highest was in 2017. The IHSG is inversely proportional to the BI rate, which in 97, 98, and 2001 actually touched the highest point, while in 2017 touched the lowest point at 4.56%. The inversely proportional relationship between the IHSG and the BI rate certainly reflect the theory presented by Tendelilin. The change in interest rates will affect stock price inversely with the ceteris paribus condition. On the other, the inflation rate touched the lowest point in 1999 at 2% and the highest point in 98, which was 77.6%. This is the result of the classical assumption test result. The first is the normality test. The normality test shows the independent variable BI rate and inflation with the dependent variable IHSG. Whether or not the residual or normality distribute is simple by comparing the Jarki-Bera prop value with the alpha level. The Jarki-Bera value is 3.356667 with a probability of 0.186685. So it can be concluded that the probability is greater than alpha, so that the residual or normality distribute. The results of multicollinearity test above show that the two variables, the center fifth value is below 10 point. BI rate is 4.494401 and inflation is 4.494401. So it can be concluded that there is no multicollinearity problem in this regression. And the last one is the result of the Bruce-Pagan-Godfrey heterokedasticity test showed that the F-stat probability value was greater than alpha. So it can be concluded that there is no heterokedasticity problem in this data. The result of multiple linear regression analysis show the BI rate variable has a coefficient value of minus 0.0236444. A t-touch value is minus 6.748625, and a probability value is 0.0000. The probability value obtained in the BI rate variable is smaller than alpha, which means partially the BI rate variable has a negative and significant effect on the IHSG variable. The inflation variable has a coefficient value of 0.072518 with a t-touch value is 4.248574 and a probability value is 0.0003. The probability value obtained in the inflation variable is smaller than alpha, which means that partially the inflation variable has a positive significant effect on the IHSG. The data above show that the f-stat value based on the above regression result is 29.28240 with a probability of 0.000001. So that simultaneously, the multiple linear regression test model with independent variable BI rates and inflation together affect the dependent variable IHSG. The conclusion from this research is the BI rate variable has a negative significant effect on the IHSG. This is in line with the theory put forward by Nopirin, which states that if the interest rate is higher, the desire of investors to save will be higher, so that the desire of the public to invest is lower. So it can be concluded that if interest rates are high, many investors invest their funds in the banking sector so that stock trading on the IDX is quiet and sluggish, which ultimately results in a decrease in the composite stock price index. The inflation variable has a positive and significant effect on IHSG. The results of this research illustrated that if inflation decreases, the IHSG will also decline. And when inflation high, interest rates will definitely decrease so that investors are moved to buy as many shares as possible. And this will make the IHSG to increase as well. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your time. That's my research and thank you. Goodbye.